Hi, everyone. Welcome to Special Presentation with Mike and Ethan. Or,
Alf will not be seen tonight.
I'll bet a lot of you, when you're listening to this, have just unwrapped your brand new Switch 2 systems. I know I have.
Oh, is that real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, the Switch 2 comes out on June 7th. So we should be, I think, or maybe it's the 6th. I don't know. It's this Friday. So that is our lead in to do something that is based on video games. There doesn't seem to be a lot of comic strip connections. So sorry for everyone who was looking forward to more comic strips after Oy Vey Toy May.
Yeah, but you know what? This is our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want. So,
Damn right.
you know,
and Q Bert is what we're watching today. I forgot to introduce that.
That's right. It's Q Bert. Q Bert.
Yes.
You may remember Q Bert because we've mentioned him a while back, actually, in our interview, our in-depth interview with Buzz Dixon. That's when we first brought up.
Which is still one of the best episodes. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and find it. It's great.
Yeah. Buzz really walked us through. I think almost his entire cartoon career, and there was a lot.
Unfortunately, there were some that he had worked on that he had no memory of. I was disappointed that he didn't remember that he was a writer on Teen Wolf.
That's right, or Denver the Last Dinosaur, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens when you're literally the guy. You know, you've done every cartoon for he made your childhood magical. So
right.
He's one of the guys who was there in the trenches and made it all happen. And one of the shows.
I haven't heard from Buzz in a while because he left Twitter a lot earlier than either of us.
Smart man. He's a smart man. And I don't know if he's on Blue Sky, actually.
Maybe he embraced Threads.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
co-host.
Wherever he is, I hope he's doing well in this bitch ass hell of a world we've got right now.
If you're listening to this, say hi to us, Buzz. We miss you.
Yeah. And we dedicate this look at the Q Bert to you. Look at Q Bert not as Q Bert could have been, but as Q Bert was, because.
So, for those of you who weren't there in the early days of arcade games, Q Bert is a game that is, I guess you'd call it a maze chase in a way. It's definitely a chase, but the idea is that there is a pyramid made up that is in an isometric angle, that you view at an isometric angle. And your little character Q Bert has to jump on each cube to change its color to clear the level. Q Bert is a fuzzball with a hose nose, as he's described in a lot of things.
Yes. His species apparently is a noser, according to the cartoon series, which may or may not be canonical. It's unclear.
Take off, eh, noser?
Yeah. Take off to the Great White North. It's a beauty where you go.
Great White Nose.
Yeah, the Great White Nose.
That's where they live. Actually, no, they live in Q-Burg, of course.
Oh, of course.
You know, it's sort of like how Pac-Man lives in Pac-Land with other Pac people, and yet only he is the Pac-Man.
Yes. Now,
and the superhero there is Super Pac-Man. So it's like, that's weird. It's like if I'm Dave and I live in Dave Land, and here comes Super Dave Osborne.
That's how it be sometimes.
It must make you very what's the word for when you think everything is a show put on for your benefit?
Solipsistic.
Yes, very solipsistic.
Yeah. You know how? Yeah, it's like I'm putting on my mascara and lipstick right now. But yeah, it's I get, we're all kind of living in our own personal Q-Burg if you think about it. We all feel like we're the protagonist of reality, but Q-Bert literally is. So Q-Bert, did you ever play Q-Bert when you were a kid? Did you ever see it in the arcade?
Yes, I did. There was an arcade in North Park, San Diego that I went to once, and they had a Q-Bert game. And I have since learned that the Q-Bert game that I played there is unfathomably rare and valuable.
Oh, really? How so?
Because it was a prototype with a different name.
Oh, what was it called?
It was called.
Wait,
That's how Q Bert pronounces it when he says punctuation marks.
so it was just the punctuation marks?
Yes. And the examples of Q Bert that are called, like, hashtag asterisk exclamation point or whatever are very rare. And apparently I got to play on one of them.
Wow, wow. That's cool. Too bad you didn't like steal it.
Yeah, yeah, too bad I didn't stick it under my shirt and try to sneak out.
Yeah. Well, hindsight's 2020, I guess, but that's interesting. I guess that is kind of I think the unique selling point of Qbert is the fact that he swears. He
Yes. The Q Bert arcade game has a sort of remedial text to speech that doesn't work very well, but it turns out it makes great wacky noises if you just type in gibberish.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Qbert when he falls off the pyramid, which you will do a lot if you play the Qbert game. It's like almost impossible not to just fall off the pyramid immediately. He makes the little interrobangs and it kind of gibbers like and
Yeah.
I think that people found that charming. They love this swearing orange the thing. Um, Now,
Also, the game has a small solenoid, so when Qbert, Jesus, when Qbert falls off the pyramid, you actually hear a thump from inside the machine.
oh, I did not know that. I don't recall playing Qbert a lot when I was a kid. I did see it occasionally in arcades, and I remember thinking it was like, wow, it's Qbert because I think I kind of thought, even though I did not see Qbert a lot, I knew that he was a thing. Like I knew him as a character, and so I kind of thought like the two major video game characters were Pac-Man and Qbert. Kind of like now you'd say like, oh, it's Mario and Sonic, right? I thought it was,
Yeah, I would have agreed with you at the time.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Though I feel like I don't know, like Qbert. Let's see. I was more familiar with Qbert because we had the Qbert board game when I was a kid. Not.
The Qbert board game?
Yes.
I gotta find this.
My mom might even still have it. I should probably ask to go through her garage.
Shit.
Um,
Well, if you find it, yeah, take it with you when we meet up at Pupper's place. That is going to be awesome.
yeah, yeah. I don't know that we ever played it because I feel like we might have tried once and lost interest really fast. But it does.
This does look familiar. It kind of looks like Chinese checkers.
Yeah, it does try to recreate the thing in the game where Qbert jumps on the block, has to jump on the blocks to change color. Instead, you are removing pegs as Qbert jumps over stuff. And I think it's a 2-player game. I think one player is Qbert and the other player is the baddies, I believe. Yeah. So let's talk about the characters that we have in Qbert. There's Qbert himself.
Yes. An orange, McNugget shaped thing with a hose nose and a couple of bare feet and googly eyes.
Yes.
And his nose was initially intended to be able to shoot stuff out of it, which is why the original name for the game, before Qbert and before the string of Maledicta, the original name for the game was Snots and Boogers.
Well, that
got rejected.
It's a little ahead of its time. So,
however, Qbert does not, in fact, shoot anything out of his nose. Not in the game, at least.
He has no defenses. He is completely at the mercy of the world that he exists in. Which is kind of why it's thought, I think, like Pac-Man feels like a game that, like, honestly, people had more staying power because it's like at least occasionally you can eat the ghosts.
Yes.
Qbert can flee by jumping on the flying discs, which are these flying discs that exist kind of on the sides of this ziggurat that he's always jumping upon. And
a villain who's pursuing him will sometimes jump on after him as the disc rescue takes Qbert safely to the top of the pyramid again.
Yep. I think can they jump on the discs too, or do they just usually fall off?
At least not in the original. I mean, there have been, I think there were 3 Q Bert games, or at least there was a Q Bert 3 for Super Nintendo.
Oh, I didn't realize there were multiple Q Bert games. I'm not up on my Q Bert lore.
Well, there's the original Q Bert, and then there's Q Bert's Cubes, which is a little different because you have numerous non-connected cubes that rotate in space. And I think that was a little complicated for people.
A little bit, but you can when you hear that, you can see why when Buzz Dixon was pitching the Q Bert idea, he was really kind of zeroing on the idea of an MC Escher-esque universe with lots of optical
Specifically
illusions.
Because there are a few characters that actually stand on different sides of the cube than Q Bert does.
That's right. So let's see. We've got I think a couple of these guys, because there's Ugg and there's Wrong Way, and I believe they both jump on different sides of the cubes.
Yes. Here, let me share with you, Mike, if you haven't seen this before, this is a book that I had as a child.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
This book is The Adventures of Q Bert.
Oh,
it is a I guess fictionalized retelling of the events of the game that has nothing to do with what's going on in the cartoon that we watched.
I have not seen this before, actually. But you know what? This is charming.
Yes, I really love this idea of the Q Bert world that he lives in, which is just called Cube in this.
Yeah, this is I really like their take on Q Bert and everything. It's very cute. So I'm not so what is the story here, because I haven't read it.
Okay. So Q Bert is taking a visit to the Magic Mountain, which he says the cubes of the mountain would change color if someone hopped on them, and if anyone could change all the cubes from one color to another within one day, peace and happiness would come to Q-Burg. And the thing is, there are monsters living on this mountain who apparently go to school with Q Bert.
Wait, in the cartoon, you mean?
In this book, it says here. Let me see. He runs into his friends Slick and Sam, who warn him about the quarrelsome quorum who live there. That is what Coily, Ugg, and Wrong Way call themselves. I mean, that is such a bar trivia name.
Yeah, that seriously is.
And Q Bert says, "Poof and double poof to the quarrelsome quorum. Those bullies can't tell us to stay off the mountain. They can't give us orders, right?" And Slick and Sam say, "Maybe we shouldn't climb the mountain, Q Bert, my man. That quorum sounds like bad business to me. You know how they like to push us around in school."
Okay, yeah, it feels like they're kind of jamming a couple different stories together here, but all right.
Yes. Now, I haven't gotten into Slick and Sam. These are characters in the game who are not necessarily bad guys. They won't hurt Q Bert if he touches them, but they do change the color of the blocks on their own, so they're just getting in the way.
Okay, so they're just kind of annoying.
Yeah. You have to stop them before they change too many block colors, but you do get more points for changing the blocks back and for picking up Slick and Sam. So
wait, how do you pick them up?
Oh, just touch them. The same way as Mario picks up a mushroom.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so, but yeah.
Now let's see. We have
so they're both two little green dudes.
There are a couple of green dudes that look identical, except that one of them is wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he's the one. He's Slick.
Yeah. But the quarrelsome quorum includes Wrong Way, who was described here as simply as a nasty creature. He looks sort of like an angry nude California raisin.
Yeah. He always, as a kid, I always thought he was supposed to be like some sort of ape, but
he's a little ape-like. Yes. Ugg and Wrong Way are the ones that actually jump on the wrong side of the cube, so they can come down. I guess when they come down on Q Bert, they basically, crash into him from the side.
Oh yeah, if they're on different sides, how do they even interact though?
I guess you just don't want to be occupying the same 3 cube gap.
Okay.
So in this story, Q Bert outwits Wrong Way, and then it says before he could hop more than 5 cubes, he came upon a huge mud puddle, and in the middle of that puddle was a creature that looked like a hog, smelled like a hog, and talked like a hog.
And that
must be a hog.
that is Ugg, because he is distinctly porcine, this character.
Yes.
Um,
he says, and Ugg says to him, "Hey there, you furball with the vacuum cleaner snout. I'm going to snort 3 times. If you're not off the mountain by that time, you'll wish you never heard of Ugg." And Q Bert says, "I know why they call you Ugg. It's because you're so ugly." Wow.
Burn.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, Q Bert's really like coming out with the zingers here.
Yeah.
So I assume he defeats Ugg, and then
yes.
he's
Slick and Snam sneak up on him and tie a knot in his tail.
Okay, so Slick and Sam are helping him out here. And then I guess we got Coily showing up finally. He's kind of the
Yes. Coily is a little different because there's one other enemy, if you can call it that we haven't brought up, the whammy ball.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
Yeah, there are numerous balls that are just come trickling down the mountain and bouncing that will hurt Q Bert if he touches them. But the purple whammy ball will come to the bottom and then reveal itself to be Coily, the snake, who will bounce up and chase you like a self-motivated spring.
Oh, okay, interesting. The board game, I remember, has Coily, and it also has red ball and green ball. So
yes, there is in fact a green ball that will give Q Bert extra points. Or actually, I think it freezes all the other characters in place if you collect it. So,
okay.
So that's Q Bert's other defense besides the discs.
Oh.
The discs don't come up in this story.
Okay. But do the balls come up? You say they're called whammy balls?
Yeah. Well, they were called whammy balls in the instruction manual for the regular Nintendo version of Q Bert. I don't know if that's what they're originally called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, the board game just called them red ball and green ball. So I assumed that they were just those 2 balls.
Also, we have this something else to share. I had this book as a child too. This is Q Bert's Crazy Questions.
Oh.
It's a riddle book with Q Bert characters.
Oh, boy. Everybody. Oh, hey, I like that it's the same art, though.
Yeah.
Also, I love the way on the cover, Q Bert's got his, he's got the way he's sitting all sassy there.
Yeah, he's like puzzling this out. Like, I don't know. What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence?
Well, I'll tell you, it's time to get a new fence.
According to the clock, it is elephant sits on a fence 30.
So these crazy questions are just riddles, I assume?
Yeah, they're just riddles, most of which have nothing to do with Q Bert, except that they added Q Bert into them. So it says things like, okay, here's one. Why is Slick trying to get a suntan like a small bucket?
Why?
They're both a little pale.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. Okay.
But
I guess.
I mean, it doesn't need to be Slick for the joke to work.
No. Well, I guess they were like, look, Q Bert's really big, so we're just going to brand things like Q Bert, It is just kind of strange. It is kind of funny looking at it now because Q Bert is such a relic of a time. It
really is.
It's not like Pac-Man, who continues to be relevant in our day and age. Q Bert is, he is still around, but as a nostalgia thing. You see him in, I think he was in Wreck-It Ralph, and I think...
Yeah, he was in Wreck-It Ralph, and he was in Pixels.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's kind of become a symbol of that era of gaming.
Yes.
Kind of surprising he's not in Smash yet.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, again, Switch 2 coming out. We're gonna have. I'm sure there's gonna be another Smash Brothers.
The more I look at him, there's a certain elf-like quality to
A
Q
little
Bert.
bit, yeah.
A little bit here.
We sure loved big-nosed characters in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it was the time to be.
Yep.
So Q-Bert's Quasi Questions, another piece of Q-Bert merchandise, of which apparently there was quite a bit.
My other favorite joke here is, why did Slick go out with a pineapple?
Why?
And
why?
He couldn't get a date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got it. I get it. No, for a second I was like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, I don't. Well, it has to be a pineapple.
The best part is that the illustration shows Slick standing with the pineapple, and they look almost identical because he's shaped like a pineapple in the first place.
I mean, it's not simply him like with a pineapple. It is literally a date with a pineapple because it's
the pineapple is wearing like fuck me pumps.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
You better be careful, Slick. She'll digest you right back.
Yeah. So what do you think? How does Q-Bert look at Ugg's teeth?
Very carefully.
That's an old one. That is an old one.
What is this protrusion under Ugg's mouth? Is that an arm?
I was kind of wondering about that.
There's only one of them. Ugg is only ever shown to have one arm.
Oh, that's interesting. I never noticed that.
In fact, he's only ever shown to be pointing to the left, or pointing to the reader's right. So I don't know. How does Ugg work? Then again, I mean, Ugg always is pointing to the right because he and Wrongway can't actually change direction in the game. So I guess it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think is the most dangerous letter in the alphabet?
N.
Wrong. It's the killer B.
Nope. Oh, I thought it was N because it's right in the middle of TNT.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's actually better. Well, besides Z, what's the only letter that you can't find on a telephone dial?
Besides C?
Besides
true?
Z.
Oh, Z. Gee, I don't know. What is it?
Q. That's not really.
I didn't know that.
That's not really a joke. I mean, I.
That's just trivia.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. Is that if that's true or not? That also, like, kids at home, you have to understand that back in the 80s, when this joke book was a thing, people had things called rotary phones, and each number also corresponded for reasons to like 3 letters. And I guess it was just so that, like, you could have hotlines like, where they'd be like, oh, 1-800-SEXY-GUY. Operators are standing by,
1-900-090-FREAK.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You got to call now. Find out what's hot and what's not. $2 a call.
Oh, man. Freddy Freaker should have had an arcade game.
Yeah. Did you know that he's got a movie?
He's got a movie? All right.
There is a it's I believe it's coming out now. It may already be out. It's not like officially Freddy Freaker, but it is a Freddy Freaker inspired film.
Okay, I really love this drawing on the very first page of the Vampire State Building.
That's pretty inspired.
Yeah, it is.
Hey,
why isn't that the title of a movie? That's perfect.
Yeah, they're really leaving money on the table there.
Oh, Mike, who's bigger, Mr. Bigger or Mr. Bigger's baby?
Which one?
Mr. Bigger's baby. He's a little bigger.
That's actually pretty clever. I like that.
Yes,
that one's good.
Also a good MPreg prompt.
Yeah. Well, just everyone put that in your corncob pipe. All right.
I also think this polka dot is very cute.
Oh well, yeah, he's kind of the kind of dot that can dance.
Yes, he looks like Mario if Mario was German.
Yeah, and let's see. When is Coily not a snake?
When he's asleep?
Well, well, when he's a little cross.
That's actually pretty good.
Why wouldn't Coily use toothpaste?
Oh, because his teeth weren't loose.
Well, yep, you got it. All right. Q Bert's Crazy Questions, a riddle book to make you laugh.
Well, we did laugh.
We did. So mission
I
accomplished.
was like, wow. I mean, I'm looking at this one now. What are King Kong's favorite cookies?
What are King Kong's favorite cookies?
Chocolate chimps.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, wow, King Kong, not Donkey Kong? Wow.
Does this predate Donkey Kong or?
No, Donkey Kong is from 1981. I think Q Bert is from 1982 or 3.
There is a kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting reading, looking at a lot of the merchandise and appearances of video game characters in early media, because they were very obviously made by people who really did not know the source material. You know, I mean, part of it is, of course, like back then, you could be more loose with your interpretation because, you know, Q Bert is just like 5 pixels, and you're like, all right, well, I can kind of have some free reign to interpret them however. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of this was just people who are like, yeah, the kids are in these video games, all right, yeah, whatever, and they just kind of made something without really, you know, grokking what it was about.
Right.
You know, when you watch that Donkey Kong cartoon, it's kind of I don't know. It's like, that's Mario? Okay.
Yeah. Now, how many of those did you watch?
Well, I just watched the clips that were in the Dukes of Hazzard preview special. So
okay. Because I watched one of each cartoon, so we're going to be coming back to this because there's a lot to get into with Saturday Supercade.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I do like this one Q Bert joke in the book, though, where Q Bert is looking at a pie, and he actually has a mouth.
Yeah, actually, he has a mouth in almost all of these.
Oh, does he? I didn't even notice. I don't. It's kind of weird seeing him with a mouth, because
it is weird. Yeah, I feel like he should, you know, I feel like he should talk through his nose and eat through his nose. You know, it's really weird when they don't treat him like Birdo.
Yeah, I feel like the nose should be kind of a combined. You know, he has a single, you know, orifice. Yeah, he does not have a complete digestive system. He both consumes and excretes through his nose. As you may know, Q Bert was adapted into many media. He became a book, a joke book, a board game, and he also became a cartoon.
Yes.
And
as you may remember from our episode with Buzz Dixon, Buzz told us the, you know, kind of heartbreaking story about how he and his partners, you know, went to play Q Bert for an afternoon to get the idea of, you know, what kind of cartoon can we make out of this, and they were like, you know what this is? This is Wile E. Coyote in the 4th dimension. So they put together this. I think it was going to be a silent cartoon there, where it's all about you know, Coily, Ugg, and Wrongway trying to get Q Bert, and he just always fools them by taking like perspective into in different ways.
Like it sounds like it'd be very Thief and the Cobbler.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, he was describing this to me, and I was just like, oh my god, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? And apparently the reason is because, was it Joe Spears or maybe Ken Ruby, one or the other? They presented him with their series Bible, and he unceremoniously tossed it in the trash and said, nah, you're going to do it as Happy Days.
Yeah, then they sure did.
I mean, well, one of my favorite things about Happy Days is that I don't have to watch it. So
I don't recall ever watching Happy Days. I mean, I know that it existed, and I know the Fonz was on it.
It was a big friggin' deal, and it was one of the reasons that the 80s was still the 50s decade, even after the 70s was kind of the 50s nostalgia decade too.
Yeah, it's so weird when I realized that Happy Days was an 80s television series.
Yeah, but it went on for what, 12 years?
God, yeah. People really loved it because, the boomers. It
No,
was like
10 years, 74 to 84. So
God.
yeah.
So the boomers, they've been on that 50s nostalgia kick now for what, 40 years?
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, just when you thought it was over, they did the Weezer did the video for Buddy Holly where they're actually performing at the diner from Happy Days and the Fonz is dancing to their song.
oh, um, yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, I look just like Buddy Holly, but I also no, wait, you look like Buddy Holly. I look like Mary
Huh?
Tyler Moore, or do
Yeah.
you look like Mary Tyler Moore and I look like Buddy Holly? I don't remember which way it goes.
I know it's but the first line, which I could never understand as a kid, is "What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front?" I love how they're getting so street in the middle of this Happy Days song.
Oh, they're like, oh, don't. Well, you don't want to mess with the Fonz, you know.
Yeah, he
Um,
will cut you up.
yeah. Now I also remember, isn't there was a Happy Days cartoon series? With
Two.
two. Now, does one of them involve time travel? I vaguely remember
Yes.
that. Eh,
One of them is one of them is called the Fonz and the Happy Days Gang, where the Fonz can't do any of the cool things that he does on the show, so instead they gave him a cool dog that would go A along with him, because that's just how it is. And the other, we talked about this when we had Mike from Why Is This Not a Movie on. It's, I mean, did you know that Mork and Mindy is a Happy Days spinoff?
Oh, if I did, I had forgotten that.
Well, it was. So the Mork and Mindy cartoon is technically a Happy Days spin-off cartoon.
Okay, so it's wow. Okay, Mork and Mindy is also a cartoon, wasn't it? At some point.
Yes. Hmm.
Ah, okay. So, boy, what a terrible time to watch television.
Yeah. I mean, I miss I miss the monoculture and everybody talking about the same thing, but at the same time, I also really enjoy how if you discover something wonderful online, you get to show everybody first.
Yeah, like it's not everyone like, hey, we all saw the exact same variety show. Let's talk about that. Yeah, the monoculture had a lot of bad stuff. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't like they should have had a monoculture that was good.
Yeah. More like a mononucleosis culture.
Oh, yeah, that'll make you tired though. Oh,
Yeah, I know. I had mononucleosis in high school. It was
oh,
no fun.
oh,
The best part about
mhm.
the best part about having mononucleosis in high school was that I also had a new girlfriend who would skip school to come over and spend time with me at home alone.
Oh, but like, yeah, that's how you got it.
Yeah, the kissing disease.
Yeah.
And if well, it's a good thing she didn't have any other diseases.
Oh, you sly dog.
Wasn't always my idea either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You going full Q Bert. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Doing the Q Bert. Um, you're all like,
Full Hubert is after he finishes that whole QT pie.
oh, that's right. Now, actually, in the cartoon, in the Q Bert
Yes.
cartoon, we have not just Q Bert. There's a bunch of Q Berts who live in Q
Yes.
Bert. Um,
Yes, a whole bunch of people of, they're all sort of, furballs with vacuum cleaner snouts, but some of them have more torso than Cubert does.
yeah, I hate these guys.
They're all awful.
They suck. This is such a bad show.
It's terrible. I
Uh,
mean, there's a reason we were talking so much about the picture book and the coloring book first.
yeah, this
Oh,
is.
actually, I didn't even bring up the coloring book.
Oh, there's a coloring book as well.
Yes, there's a coloring book with a whole plot to it, and which actually includes one of the characters from the show.
Oh, which one? One who's not in the actual
It's
game?
a little different. It's Cubert's enormous friend Cumungus.
Oh, is that what his name was?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
who in the show is always perpetually dressed in a wife beater and basically looks like Mungo from Heathcliff, but Here he seems to just be, like a bigger, stronger version of Q Bert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he does much in the show. Nobody really does. Q Bert has a gang that just kind of follows him around, and they kind of are doing that thing that that again that we were saying, that I was saying, the Joes and the ponies and the Transformers kind of do, where you have an amorphous mass of 5,000 interchangeable characters who just exist to fill the screen.
I was having that trouble just this weekend when I was watching Hazbin Hotel. Ugh.
That is
terrible character design.
Oh boy, I don't know if you can tell any of those guys apart.
Oh my god, it's like somebody, like you made a cartoon out of a bunch of DeviantArt bases from Joan and Vasquez characters.
How did you get suckered into watching Hazbin Hotel?
Well, I have a new girlfriend now.
Oh, well, and she's making you watch Hazbin Hotel, huh?
Well, I can't catch mononucleosis a second time, so we got to do what we have to.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, well, the things we do for love. Well,
for real.
I'm gonna say something controversial here.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you watch Hell of a Boss instead?
Is it better? I thought it was worse.
I actually think it's better. But
really?
but I mean, maybe that's a low bar. I'll just say that I could not stand Hazbin Hotel. I was like, oh my god, it's like it is like, oh, here's my favorite DeviantArt OC, do not steal, and it's like, oh god, yeah, it just it's real.
It feels like they wanted. They wanted Undertale and Toby said no, so they got the next best thing.
Yeah. Hazbin Hotel is just real. It's just a lot. I don't care for it. Plus, I fucking hate the radio demon. Oh my god. Talk about oh yeah, I get it. It's your OC. You really love that OC. But it's like
they're all like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. There's no one character that I hate, but it's they're all kind of equally appealing and equally annoying. So.
Well, my thing is, I mean, they're all kind of I don't care for any of them. I do not care for these guys, these has-beens in this hotel, but the radio demon especially irked me for several reasons. One of which is okay, what's his deal? He's a radio? No, he's not a radio. He talks like a radio.
It's a battle between TV and radio?
What is the deal? Why is he the radio demon? And then they explain it's because when he first came to hell, he broadcast his conquest on the radio. And it's that is the most backronym explanation for this guy's name. This was clearly someone's DeviantArt OC that already existed, and he just jammed it into the show, and they're like, oh, make up a reason why we call him the radio demon. Why does he have antlers, by the way? Why? He's got too much going on thematically. I don't know what the deal is with this guy,
I assumed that they were rabbit ears, but I guess that's a television thing.
Oh yeah, that's more of a that would actually be too clever for Hazbin Hotel. Anyway, I'm not a fan of the Hazbin Hotel. I find it tedious. I hope your girlfriend's not listening to the show.
She never listens to this show. I don't know why.
Oh,
honestly, I don't know what she sees in me.
Oh, good. So let's talk some smack about her. She'll never know. No, I joke. We're not going to play with that fire. But
no.
But I'm sorry. Wow, I'm being a delightful bitch tonight. But
you're simply a perfect bitch.
I'm just so sassy. Oh my gosh! Oh, stop me! Oh, I'm getting too silly. Anyway, no. What I was gonna say is, Hell of a Boss does suffer from a lot of the same issues as Hazbin Hotel. It's one of those oh yeah, the characters are kind of over designed. It's a little frenetic. There's a lot of oh hey, let's throw we can say fuck, so we're gonna say fuck constantly.
Yeah, we don't I mean, we can say fuck as much as we want, and we don't say fuck that often. Fuck that.
No, we say it. We say, you know, we say it when it's important to say it, like for reasons of character development or emphasis.
Yeah, or you know, when we say fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
Never a bad time for that.
Yeah, it's always the right time to say fuck Elon Musk.
But personally, I prefer to avoid it as much as possible and go for the precision F strike, as they say on TV tropes.
Yes, that makes sense. I've heard that some people out there don't like profanity. It makes their tummies hurt. They don't like it when they read it in books. They don't like books that use profanity. Boo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, not that I would know anything about writing a book that has a lot of profanity in it. Anyway, but no, the Hell of a Boss though, it's
coming at the end of the summer.
Yeah, it's that's right. Buy it from wherever fine books are sold and read it with someone you love. Moonflow, it's coming out. Just buy it. Fucking buy it. Why not? There's a fuck for you.
Who's gonna stop you? Your mom? She can't.
Yeah, that's right. You're an adult. You should buy this book. Buy multiple copies.
Yeah, you can't stop. You know, your mom can't stop you from buying Moonflow the way my friend's crazy Christian mom made her throw away her copy of the Star Wars Episode 3 CD because it didn't explicitly talk about Jesus.
Wow, that's pretty Jesus-y.
It really is.
You can't get much more Jesus-y than that. So it's only Jesus-centric media. If you're not mentioning Jesus, then you're out of wow.
And she was in fact like a John Williams fan herself. So I don't know.
But some people, well,
seriously.
Well, the Hell of a Boss is slightly more tolerable. I think it's got actually it has a fun character arc for the characters. There's a little bit of development. I found them a little more relatable and appealing than the Hazbin
less
set.
Broadway songs.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there's a lot. I did not remember there being a lot of singing in it. Hazbin get a lot of songs.
Oh yeah, Hazbin is like, you know, it's like, what if I really want the Little Mermaid to say fuck.
Oh yeah, I think there's some songs in Hell of a Boss, but I feel like there's fewer. You know, I'm going to say if you hate Hazbin, you might also hate Hell of a Boss, but like.
Well, I saw Hell of a Boss first and was, you know, actually a little less impressed.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not for you. I enjoyed it. You know, for what it was. I didn't hate it. I thought I would, and it turned out I was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of digging this. There's some good stuff in it, except they have the character designs for the characters in general are not as bad as Hazbin Hotel, except for the major goetic demons. Who
owls?
No, actually, oh fuck, no, not the owls. Okay, so I take it back. Because
yeah, my girlfriend was, you know, trying to tell me what the characters are, and I'm like, that's a spider?
Okay, so here's the issue, right? So when I say goetic demon, I'm talking in real life. The goetic demons are demons listed in the Goetia. You know this.
Oh, so like a buer?
Yes, it's a grimoire, a specific grimoire that lists all these demons, right? Yeah. And so pretty much every named demon that appears in Hell of a Boss is actually a goetic demon. But in the world of Hell of a Boss, they seem to imply that a goetic demon is a subspecies of demon who all look like birds for some reason. And the exemplar of that genus is Stolas, who is in fact a goetic demon who looks like an owl in the actual Goetia.
A gangly owl, yes.
So
I've seen Stolas before.
So his character design is actually accurate to the actual goetic demon, but they decided that all goetic demons just look like birds because of that. So all the other ones they say are goetic are just bird demons, even though the other demon
run out of time to design the others.
Yeah, apparently, which is like, oh wow, you're not gonna go all these wacky designs. You love doing that in Hazbin, but I guess we're trying to be on theme or something. That's fine. I mean, Stolas is fine.
Well, I mean,
but
as I understand it, with Hell of a Boss, actually funding it herself and making it on her own time, so it doesn't have the budget that the other one
Okay,
does.
well that's fair then. I'll give her that. I mean, the thing is, most of the character design in Hell of a Boss is not that bad. The imps look fine. The hellhounds look fine. A lot of the other things, they're fine. They're fine. The problem is the major demons, the ones who represent like the seven deadly sins. But they're terrible, awful designs, awful. Whoops, sorry. I'm flinging my hand around and hitting things here because I'm so worked up about this.
Did you do a Kermit flail?
I did. I was like, Wah! I'm just we're
Now the Muppets, those are not over designed.
no, they're not. They're simple. Jim Henson knew what he was doing. You look at Kermit and you're like, that's a frog. It's everything you need to know, communicated instantly. That is good character design. Okay.
See, he's clearly a frog. Look at his little jester collar, just like a frog.
Just like a frog has. And he's I'm saying is like the Muppets have fairly good character design. I mean, fairly good. There's a couple Muppets who are just like, what are you even doing with that? Yeah. I'm looking at you, Pepe. New Zealand. And oh yeah, Pepe. Oh my God, we've talked about Pepe. We have.
Yeah, I just don't get Pepe, honestly. I mean, I get that. They have to use him because puppeteers are unfortunately mortal and get fired, and sometimes both. So they have to use the puppets that they have the puppeteers for. But maybe you shouldn't have pretended that Gonzo had this deep friendship with Pepe when you clearly wrote the part for Rizzo and then fired the guy who did Rizzo.
Why'd they fire Rizzo?
Well, there's a lot of actually there's so much controversy about that I don't think I can actually get into it here.
Oh, well.
Yeah, because I don't think I would get it right.
Why don't they just why don't they just hire a new guy to do Rizzo? Is it such a unique voice? Well, maybe there's a lot of bad blood, so I guess they're just like, all right, Pepe, he's the new guy. Pepe is a real Muppet come lately. I don't care for Pepe, I think he is. If you wanted to give Gonzo but that's right. I was going to say, if you wanted to give Gonzo another friend that he had an established history with, they should have gotten Leon. But I don't think Kevin Clash is working with Disney either. So again, it's a real issue. It's like you need to hire more puppeteers, and you need to give them room to create new characters. Yeah, well, maybe we don't do that anymore. That's not how things are run these days. Maybe they can ask the AI for some new Muppets. They can brainstorm some new Muppets with an AI.
Or how about you hire me? I created the handfuls.
I mean, they could do worse.
Yeah.
Maybe what we should do? We should just start our own puppet troupe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll call ourselves the Quarrelsome Quorum.
Yeah. You know what? And we should travel. We should travel around in a little horse-drawn carriage. And put on shows in towns. We will bring delight to dreary towns throughout this land by putting on our whimsical puppet theater. We're going to call ourselves the Augsburger Puppenkiste. Nobody else has that name.
I didn't know the Augsburger Puppenkiste was a traveling puppet show.
I don't think they actually travel. I think they probably just hang out in Augsburg.
Okay.
I don't actually.
Augsburg is a place.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, apparently, a lot of cities in Europe literally have puppet theaters. Like, in your town, you probably have like a theater, like where they put on plays and stuff.
Yes, we have Roger Rocca's Music Hall.
There you go. Well, apparently in Europe, a lot of cities have a dedicated puppet theater. So you go there to see puppet shows. I remember when I was in Bern, there was one, and it was just like, oh, there's a puppet theater. You just go there to see puppets do stuff. I guess they mostly do kid shows, but it's interesting that apparently the art form is so like revered that they actually have their own theaters. Not like here in the States. I don't see any puppet theaters anywhere. What's up with
I mean,
that?
as Elijah C. Skuggs said, puppetry is a noble profession. Give the man his due.
Yeah, you know what? There should be more puppets. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
We should return to the
Bring
puppet
back the
times.
puppet
Bring
times.
back the puppet times. I'm a return guy for the puppet times. Have we ever mentioned the puppet times on this show?
I think you explained it to me off camera. So tell us about the puppet times.
Okay, so back
Or off mic.
a long time ago, back in the puppet times, you might say, I had another podcast with Oralina, friend of the show. You might remember her from, I think she was on for the Smurfs and also for the Dragon That Wasn't, or maybe it was.
Yes.
But
and she joined us for some of the advent calendar shorts.
Oh,
too.
that's right. That's right. So Oralina and I had a show called Show. And we would always, for some reason, we were talking about how, like, if you watch old TV, like old TV, like from the 50s, black and white stuff, they always have all these puppets on TV. People love puppets. And we were always just saying, like, well, that was just real life back then. People were puppets. Everything was puppets. So, they were just filming real life, like live action, and they were puppets. So, which is, I guess, kind of true, actually. It is real life, but I'm saying people were puppets. So then we're always referring to those as the puppet times, which means a long, long ago. Anyway, we were very amused with this. So that's something that's continued to this very day, talking of the puppet times.
Yes, it feels very much like Calvin's dad explaining that, those old pictures are in color. It's just that the world was black and white back then.
Oh, yeah.
The world didn't turn color until the 30s, and it was pretty grainy, too.
It's a very Calvin's dad sort of thing. Okay, but I suppose we've gotten off track. We should actually talk about Q Bert a little bit.
Yes, Q Bert is part of a show called Saturday Supercade, which was a big variety show compilation of cartoons based on then current arcade games. So Pac-Man was not part of this because at that time he was the prima donneur of video games, so he had his own show.
Oh yeah. Pac-Man was a real big deal in those days.
You have no idea. I mean, Pac-Man has just celebrated his 40th birthday. He is the closest thing I've ever had to a twin brother. Did you have any of those Pac-Man Krispy Kreme donuts? Those were bomb.
I have not, actually. Is that a recent thing?
I don't know if you can still get them, but you could get Krispy Kreme donuts that had like Pac-Man mazes on them, or had the Pac-Man strawberry.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. So, the Saturday Supercade was kind of a clearinghouse for all of the games that weren't as well known as Pac-Man, including Donkey Kong, which, is kind of crazy because now Donkey Kong is, right up there with his face on, Mount Gamesmore or whatever you want.
Yep.
Pac-Man and Donkey Kong are both represented in Super Smash Brothers. So they are definitely, among today's prima donneurs, even some 45 years later.
Yeah. Some of these other cartoons, though, not, some of them are,
You've probably heard of Frogger.
Yeah.
That one was very well known, and they were making Frogger games into the 90s.
Yeah.
You might have heard of Pitfall, which was very popular on home consoles on the 2600, and they were making Pitfall games into the 2000s. Actually, this is funny. There was a Pitfall game for the Game Boy Advance. That was in the mid 2000s, and it actually included the characters from the Pitfall cartoon because that was the only established media for it.
Oh wow! Huh.
So, but I'll bet almost none of you have heard of Kangaroo.
You know what? I have actually heard of Kangaroo.
You heard of Kangaroo?
I actually saw Kangaroo in the arcade. So I do remember this one. I
did not know.
I did not know they made it into a cartoon show. When I saw that they had, I was actually kind of shocked. I was like, really? Kangaroo? Because it is as far as I can recall, it's very much like it's kind of similar to Burger Time, I think, except you are a kangaroo, and I think you have to rescue your baby kangaroo from monkeys. I think monkeys are the bad guys.
Yes. it's actually a little closer to Donkey Kong actually, because you have to get the very well animated mama kangaroo to the top of the trees where the monkeys have got your baby in a cage, and if you can strap on a pair of boxing gloves that will let you knock out anything in your way, much like Mario picks up the hammer to knock out the barrels in Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. It is. I don't think Kangaroo was ever.
It is one of the few games with a female protagonist at the time.
That actually, I found kind of interesting because, like, yeah, I was like, oh, when I guess they could not get around that fact, and they had to, get a lady to do the voice of the kangaroo. That was probably June Foray because it's the '80s and everything is June Foray.
No, it was someone else. Oh, I forget who.
Yeah, when I saw the
someone you'd know from cartoon voices, but
oh, okay. When I saw that, heard the kangaroo, I was like, oh wow, it's a lady kangaroo. But I guess I should have expected the mom,
like Cool Blue and Little Odie.
Yeah. Wait, Cool.
Her Katie the kangaroo, or actually Katie KO, or KO Katie, was voiced by Mia Martineau. She is a voice actor, according to Internet Movie Database, best known for Centurions and E's Book 1 and 2.
Oh, I don't know what those are.
Centurions is the cartoon with the that was sort of like badly transforming humans.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. E's Book 1 and 2 is a video game.
Oh.
And apart from that and Punky Brewster, that's about all she did.
Oh. Was she the Punky Brewster cartoon?
Yeah, the Punky Brewster cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't think she was the voice of Glomer. She was just an additional voice.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, I guess Kangaroo is going to be one of the things that she's known for then.
Yeah.
So Kangaroo and Q Bert is also part of this. And so Q Bert is
and Space Ace.
Oh, Space Ace. Yeah, that feels like from a different time. That's kind
it
of
does
because when they were doing
Space Ace is the most different one, but we're talking Q Bert today. We'll get back to Space Ace later.
Yeah. So Q Bert, it's the 1950s in Qberg, and it's me and you. Hey Q and Qbert.
Yeah. It's yet another one of these shows that it just feels like they really want to do the Flintstones over again.
Yeah. It's the basic plot. I watched a few of these, and the basic plot is Qbert and Coily have to do a contest, and they do the contest, and Qbert wins. Yes. And that's it.
In this show, Qbert is always wearing a Letterman jacket.
Yes.
Or varsity jacket. And he has arms now, which he did not before. And he has shoes now, which he did not before.
He does have a mouth as well, which I guess they had to do. He's got a bunch of like Qbert type friends, like we saw that Mongo type guy. There's
we see Cube Mungus in the background, but he doesn't do much in the episode that I watched.
No, and there's also like a little kid Qbert and a girl Qbert,
and I guess a sort of cool Fonz Qbert, and more. Some of them have. Seem to have their faces rising out of their bodies to form more of a head, which is really disturbing.
Yeah.
Especially because none of them seem to be wearing shirts, so it's like this race of people with enormous dewlaps. It's like everyone looks so grotesquely obese, even though they're just normal.
Yeah, the characters.
What is the name of this gastropod?
the character design is it's no Hazbin Hotel, but it's there's a couple girl Qberts, I think. There's one.
Yes. One of whom talks like an 80s Valley Girl, so they're already betraying the 50s theme. But then again, that is also very Happy Days, which kind of forgot it was in the 50s and just started doing 70s stuff later on.
Well, it's really hard to think of 50s plots because well, what really happened in the 50s?
You can't actually talk about people probably didn't want to hear Fonzie's opinion on the black question.
Yeah, he was like, oh, that might be a little awkward. I can't believe Fonzarelli is racist.
Now, honestly, but Fonz is a friend to all. I'm absolutely certain that if there was an episode, if they had gotten the opportunity to do it, there would have been an episode that showed Fonzie marching in Selma with Dr. King.
Wait, now that I think about it, was there an episode where the Fonz I could be misremembering this, but like there's like a sign that said like racism is good or something, and the Fonz like hits the wall and it falls off, and like that's the end of the episode. Something to that effect. I don't think it was that on the nose, but like he caused some sign that indicated a bad thing to go off the wall, and I think it was about racism.
That's kind of his superpower, is that he hits things and fixes them. So yeah.
Oh man, I wish we had a guy
like the kind of thing he would do.
Guy who could hit things and fix them, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so Q.
That's why there was whatever. I don't remember what it was. Oh, that's right. It was the episode where Fry got his own apartment, but Bender's antenna was messing with the TV. So as Bender leaves and the TV comes on again, Fry hits the TV and it comes back on, and he turns to the camera and goes, "Hey!"
Oh, I get that reference. It's the Fonz. Yes. He's, you kids, if you don't know what the Fonz is, he's like Poochie.
Yes.
In fact,
no, he's a third of Poochie.
He's a third of Poochie.
Yes. The other half is Joe Camel, and then the rest is Q Bert.
Yes. So Q Bert, he hangs out in like a diner with all these Q Bert friends, the nosers. They're nosers, I think.
Yes.
And every episode, like they'll be like, "Hey."
Which is funny because I've been using the word noser in a science fiction thing of mine.
Oh, is it full of Q Berts?
No, it's I had some aliens. Who are serving on this ship, not unlike the Enterprise, saying, "Hey, how about we go ditch these nosers and get to the track?" And the humans are like, "Nosers? Should I be offended?" They're like, "No, it's not like a slur or anything. It's just that we can always recognize when someone is descended from a human because of that schnoz."
Well, I think I would be offended. Now, I think the nosers, the one of the things about them is when they want to insult each other, they will call each other like, "Oh, what are you big nose," or "vacuum cleaner nose," and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you all have that nose. Why are you doing that? But all the citizens of Qberg are basically Q-Berts. They're all nosers, except
they're all scrotums.
Yeah. There's only one very noticeable exception. That is the Coily gang. I guess they are some sort of, I don't know, the ethnic minority or something.
No, it's very... Okay, we didn't look at it, but there's actually a Thanksgiving episode of Q Bert.
I looked at it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
So you saw the Thanksgiving episode actually portrays the nosers as the natives and the Coily gang as the colonists.
It does, but it also has Q-Berts as pilgrims as well.
Oh, man.
They don't like divide them up neatly.
Boo.
In fact,
I like how there's another. I just noticed that the diner actually has arcade games, so it's still not the 50s.
Oh yeah, do they have Q-Bert though?
It's called Square Bert.
Oh, okay.
That's not even a joke.
I mean, is it because Q-Bert sounds like cube? Is that what they're...
Maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like a flat Q-Bert. I get it.
Oh, I guess. Well, yeah, they're like in Flatland or something here.
Yeah.
It's a romance of many dimensions. But okay.
I fucking love Flatland, man.
It's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah. I loved it as a kid.
You would. That's such an Ethan thing.
I was like, yeah, this is fun, and I'm learning.
What are you actually learning about, though?
Well, it was, actually what I really liked about it was that it was basically, hey, kid, here's a whole bunch of action figures you can make yourself. Just draw them and cut them out. Life-sized.
That is a very Ethan thing, I feel like.
It is.
That's adorable. Well, they so the Q Bert gang, um, oh, okay. Wait, sorry. They hang out in a diner. They do diner things. They dance to a jukebox. They do 50s stuff. Meanwhile, the Coily gang, it consists of Coily, who now has arms, just like Hubert has
Yes.
arms. And there's Ugg and there's Wrong Way. None of the balls show up, but we
Yes.
do get a lady snake.
Viper.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's kind of got like, what is this voice that she's got? It's kind of a
I don't
gangster
know.
mall voice, you know?
Yeah, kind of. And I can't help but notice that Coily and Ugg are both dressed as Nazis.
Yeah. I think they're supposed to be like, that kind of 50s biker gang aesthetic. You might,
Yeah.
like, what is it? Jean Paul Sartre's motorcycle gang from Horror Party Beach. But like, because a lot of motorcycle, gang aesthetic was also kind of Nazi
Yeah.
adjacent, as we know from Fritz the Cat.
Yes.
Uh,
Because surf Nazis must die.
yeah, yeah. So
I'm sure there was a surfing episode.
yeah. I did not see the surfing episode, but I can imagine. I can imagine already how that plot went down. I bet there was
It's
a
probably called
contest.
something like cute. Oh yeah, that's right. It's called Quirfs Up.
Yeah, and I bet they have a contest to see who can surf more, and Coily
Yeah.
cheats. Like
Yes.
every episode is them having a contest.
And
This
coyly cheating.
Yes. Like this really does feel like this series. I actually was kind of surprised at how limited it was. It felt like they had one plot, because I was thinking like, your standard 80s cartoon from this era, like, there's a lot of standard plots. You're going to have the, oh, everyone forgot my birthday, so I'm running away plot. You're going to have the, the one where we go to
The twin cousin.
the twin cousin, yeah, that plot. We're gonna have the one where, for whatever reason, the bad guys like in a bad situation, and now the good guys have to like help him get back in, with the good graces of the bad guy gang or something. You have the one where they have to team up for what against a greater foe. You got a lot of things, but I
Yes.
could not see any of these plots happening in Q Bert, because there's one plot over and over. There's going to be a contest. Boy, it's Q Bert is kind of a slog.
Yeah. It's funny that Coily dresses like a Nazi, Ugg dresses like a Nazi, Wrong Way dresses like he just turned into the Hulk.
Yeah, he's got kind of a torn wife beater thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what his aesthetic is. He looks he looks like a bum.
Yeah, I feel like Ugg and Wrong Way aren't really very differentiated as characters in this.
No.
They're just
Wrong Way is, he just sort of repeats what the others say, and Ugg just kind of repeats what Coily says. So.
yeah, they don't bring much to the gooning. They're not as far as goons go. Yeah, real jobbers, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
You can't help but notice that they had a lot more personality in that picture book.
Yes, yeah. In the cartoon, they're just a real couple of ham and eggers. There's not much going on there. But I do like Vipra. I like her whole thing.
She's very sarcastic.
Yes, she's kind of got this like, I don't exactly know the voice, but it's that like, oh hey, oh why don't you come up and see me sometime, big boy, like that kind of voice, where
Yeah.
like I don't know if that's Marlene Dietrich or what, but like it's this kind of, it's a
Mae
very
West.
that's it, Mae West. Thank you. It's like a Mae West impression, which I guess maybe fits because it's the 50s.
Yeah, that's something. Oh, that's something that I know because of somebody who the entire internet is mourning. Because I learned it from an X Factor comic where Strong Guy has somebody come in on him in the shower. He's like, "Hey, who is that out there?" She said, "It's someone you know pretty well, big boy." Oh, it's Mae West. Gosh, Miss West, you're looking great for someone who's been dead for 50 years. Another delightful line from the late great Peter David.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Um,
the real Strong Guy.
yeah. So I guess I watched a few Q Bert episodes and they immediately sloughed off my brain. I don't remember.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is one where QT enters a beauty contest, and
Yes.
so does Vipra. They compete to be Miss Qberg, and Coily.
And we don't see Vipra do anything.
No. It is funny that immediately when they do that, like Coily's like, well, I'm gonna win, by cheating for you, and Viper's like, okay, that's fine. I think it's funny because she's immediately like, oh yeah, that's fine. But it's like if I were Vipra,
could never win on my own.
Yeah, if I were Vipra,
everyone here is racist against us snakes with arms.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Is like literally Coily's like you're good. There's no way you can win because you're such an uggo. I'm gonna cheat on your behalf. If I were Viper, I'd be a little offended. I'd be like, well, you don't need to cheat. I'm just gonna win this on my natural charms. But she does turn out that Viper just sucks at everything in this beauty contest, which has a baking component.
Yeah, a baking component? Well, I mean, they say it's like Miss Teen, so I guess it's not just beauty.
Yeah, it's all the things that girls need to be able to do, like cooking and cleaning and wearing swimsuits, but then Coily tries to ruin the day by giving cutie pie.
Yeah, QT.
QT.
Yes, QT. Yes, he rigs her swimsuit to inflate.
Which is not nearly as hot as you would think.
I mean, she's not a very attractive character.
No.
Oh, the other... I just realized that she actually does have a torso, unlike Q Bert. Oh, that is really weird.
Oh, that's right, because she's a girl, so they have to, show her, bust line when she's in her swimsuit.
Yeah, the girl Q people... They're shaped like the octopuses in Animal Crossing. And let me see if I can. And if you don't know what the octopuses look like in Animal Crossing, here, I mean, you already do because they look like the female Q people. But here's Marina. She lives in my town.
Oh yeah. They're
looks like an octopus version of the girl from Gravity Falls.
Yeah. She's kind of cute though. Cuter than these Q Berts.
Yeah, the Q Bert. Cuter than QT.
Yeah. I was not taken with anything in Q Bert or Q Berg.
Yeah.
It's like, even the little things they do, like, they have square records. Yeah, okay, sure, why not? They do try to bring in some of the things from the game because when Q Bert for some reason is jumping on top of trash cans and they all change color as he touches them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, I remember that from the game, but I don't know why it's happening now in the show. Why that?
Yeah. As I was watching these cartoons, I noticed that every once in a while the action just totally stops to focus on something completely irrelevant to the plot. And eventually I realized, it's always something that's from the game that they have to tie it in with.
Oh.
Like when I was watching Frogger, they put way too much into, we got to stop because Frogger has been flattened and we have to reinflate him.
Oh, they seem to like that bit.
Yeah.
Again, not as hot as you would think. Real.
In fact, they kind of went out of their way to make it not hot.
Which makes me think that the guys involved in this were they knew what was going on. They were even though this was 1982, so there's no possible way that they could know. They probably had the fetish and were overcompensating. Oh no, we gotta you can't do that. Oh no. Anyway, boo on Q Bert. I spy on Q Bert. It's not good.
Spy on Q Bert. Yes.
Yeah.
Man, these characters are so unattractive. God.
Yeah. I have nothing good to say about Q Bert or his show. I'm glad we talked about Hazbin Hotel for 40 minutes instead. and puppets.
There is more to say about that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's really hilarious is that at the end of the story, when they're their plans have been foiled. Viper throws the inflatable swimsuit on Coily to inflate him, and the swimsuit does not inflate. Instead, Coily himself inflates.
Yeah.
Like, we forgot how our own prop works.
Yeah, because she has a remote control, and it's implied it inflates the swimsuit, but I guess it just inflates whatever she zaps with it. So it's like, that's not okay.
I know some people who would pay big money for that, but
Yeah, but well, not after they see how it works in Q Bert. They're like, pass. I don't need it that much. Yeah, so Q Bert, I think there's like one where they go to camp and they have a contest there. There's one where they and then they just do Q Bert. This is really like, I think about what could have been. We could have had the MC Escher Q Bert, but instead we get this. There's a reason that nobody remembers this or Q Bert.
Now, if you want to see a cartoon that is very close to, I think, what they actually wanted to do with Q Bert, there is a British animation that I used to see pop up on Nickelodeon every once in a while. I didn't know the title of it for decades. It turns out it's called Picnic on Imbrium Beach.
Haven't heard of that one.
It's the story of a bird, a dinosaur, and a little fuzzy blob that live together in a house, and they decide to go for a picnic, but then the dinosaur accidentally shifts the car into reverse and backs into the house and completely destroys it, just scatters its pieces everywhere. So they have to reassemble their house before they can go on this trip, but they keep doing it wrong. Like the bird, like the door gets disconnected from the house. The bird puts the door back on and then opens it and finds himself staring at himself because he's got it on backwards. He's got the outside part going in and the inside part going out.
What's the name of this again?
It's called Picnic on Imbrium Beach. It's actually fascinating, and I can't believe that the creators of this didn't seem to have done anything else that I can find.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Well, folks, you heard it here first.
Yeah, well, we'll share it on Blue Sky or wherever you find this.
Yeah. Well, I guess, is there anything else to say about Q Bert, though? Or we all cubed out after?
I'm out of quasi questions.
Yeah. I will say that, like, if you want some better Q Bert media, you should check out one of my favorite films, The Insurmountable Pyramid. Or Unattainable Pyramid. I actually don't remember the name of it.
Insurmountable Pyramid?
It is a student film about a girl who, for reasons that are never really explicated, is compelled to live her life inside a Q Bert costume. It's a strange movie. It's both very funny and kind of heartbreaking and very weird. And for some reason, every time I remember watching it and being like, I don't know why this really speaks to me. I don't understand it at all, but like I can't stop rewatching The Insurmountable Pyramid. I'll have to see if I can still find it online somewhere. I think it was just someone's student film, but
student films. We need more of those. We need more places where someone can get their student film watched, because they are universally terrible, but they are all universally wonderful because they come so much from, a single person's mind.
Yeah, they should do more of that instead of whatever they're doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is probably bad.
I mean, the other thing is also bad, but bad in a good way.
Yeah, we don't have bad good things anymore. Only bad things. Anyway.
Student films. My favorite student film is one you've probably seen, Gumbasia.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gumbasia fucking rocks. Yeah. I kind of wish that there was a feature-length version, but it would probably get old.
Yeah. Gumbasia is, that is Art Clokey at his best.
Yes, that was the original film that Art Clokey made in his spare time, and was shopping around, and he took it to like CBS And the CBS guy was like, "This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. We have got to work with you." And the guy was like, "Yes, I'm going to be a director. I'm going to be meeting Lola Falana." And he said, "Could you animate little clay characters?" Oh, okay.
Well, at least
It's interesting that he didn't have the idea for Gumby until he was asked to start a clay cartoon.
well, he had the name at least.
Yeah, the name came from what his dad always called the mud that got stuck on their boots. It's like, I gotta scrape this gumbo off.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, and the rest is history. Gumby. Well, if you got a heart, Gumby's a part of you. So
Yeah.
all right.
And once he was a little green ball of clay, but then Q Bert scooped him up and he stopped everyone in time for a few seconds.
Yeah, he can He got shot out of Q Bert's nose.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention in the cartoon, Q Bert can shoot slippy doos, whatever the hell those are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if that was actually like maybe they actually go back to the original like blueprints for the game and find out, oh yeah, they were called Slippy Doos. Okay, we'll do that. I don't know. They do have the discs in the Q Bert cartoon show. They're kind of treating them like skateboards or something. So
okay.
And also Slick and Sam do show up. They seem to be just like two annoying guys though who like fuck things up for Q Bert a lot by accident. Like
yeah, that sounds about right because that's how they were described in the book.
Yeah,
was that Slick and Sam. What did it say about them? Yes, he loved the way Slick and Sam talked. They thought they were so cool, but they really weren't. They were just friends who meant well, even if they often wound up making a mess of things. So it's good to have friends like that who mean well, even if they do mess up. I'm glad that Q Bert can forgive his friends their trespasses.
Yeah, in the Q Bert cartoon, like Q Bert's like, I've got to go do a thing, but I can't. I need someone to watch my my disc, my flying disc while I go. And Sam and Slick just show up and say like, we'll do it. And Q Bert's like, I know I shouldn't trust you guys, but okay. And he does. And then like he leaves and like Ugg comes and is like, I want to see that flying disc. And Slick and Sam are like, oh no. But then I think wrong way, surreptitiously swaps out the flying disc with a balloon that looks identical to the flying disc, so that then when Q Bert comes back, Sam and Slick are like, here's your flying disc back. Ugg tried to take it, but we didn't let him. And then Q Bert's like, this is just a balloon that looks like a flying disc. My flying disc is stolen. Oh no. And anyway, Slick and Sam.
Wow. It's Q Bert's big adventure.
Little Q Bert's big adventure. All right, Q Bert, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
Q Bert.
Q Bert.
Not to be confused with Professor Farnsworth's clone.
Yes, or Pubert from the Addams Family.
Yes.
Or the letter Q.
Yes. Or I don't know. Do you know anyone with the first name Hubert?
I do not. I don't think it's a very popular name these days.
No. Oh, Hubert, John Arbuckle's elderly neighbor.
Oh yeah. Or
to Reba.
or everyone's famous that famous musician Hubert Lewis and the News.
Oh yeah. And Donald Duck's nephew Hubert Duck.
That's right. Actually, so wait a second. So Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So it's they're laying there's like Hubert, Lewis, and Dwight.
Deuteronomy. Dwight? I guess I never met a Dwight who went by Dewey, but I haven't met a lot of Dwights in general.
I'm not sure. What is the is Dewey short for something?
Well, in this case, it's Deuteronomy, but
I mean, is that actually is that canon?
That is, in fact, his name. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that. I actually I did not realize they actually had canonical full names. Well, Deuteronomy Duck.
Mm-hmm.
He makes that scans.
Or at least that's what it was in the recent DuckTales. It might have. I think in other cases it can be something else.
Well, yeah. They get to play around a little bit. All right. Well, Q Bert, ladies and gentlemen. That's Q Bert. That's it.
That's Q Bert. That's our Q Bert, and he sort of does like a freeze frame, like da da. And it's like produced by Parker Brothers.
Just imagine that we're like high five. We jump in the air and high five. That's
and we're like,
Q Bert. Oh, that Q Bert. I hate him. I hate Q Bert. I hate all the Q Berts.
Good old Q Bert. How I hate him.
Should we just cut there?
Yeah.
All right.